Anything is possible. It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown strong together.
Hello everyone, good morning. I decided to jump on and do a little quick live crafting session this morning with you. I feel like I want to do a few more live crafting sessions. Let me see if I can find myself here. There it is. It says I'm live. That's what I need. All right, let me see. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. When you join, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I can see I've got Wendy and Megan and Kathleen, Deborah. How are you all? All right, so what I decided to do this morning was to just jump on and do some crafting out of our catalog. I'm just going to case the catalog. So I've got the Label Me Bold stamp set. Now, Label Me Bold stamp set will be retiring. It's on our retirement list. So I looked at this gorgeous card here and I thought, you know what, I'm going to case this card similar to this card because I'm not actually going to do the card exactly how it is in the catalog, but I thought, you know what, I will do something similar. So I've got out some bits and pieces. I've got out some mint macaron card base because I can see that that's on mint macaron. I've got out, I'm actually going to pop another layer in behind there. I've got some Whisper White. I got this piece of designer series paper. I didn't have any checkered designer series paper, so I thought I will bring this out. And I've got some ink pads here that I'm going to be using. I've got Pretty Peacock, Flirty Flamingo, Pineapple Punch, and Mint Macaron. So Pineapple Punch will be actually leaving us. So hello and welcome everyone. So I'm going to try and pop on, hopefully daily. I won't have a scheduled time. I'm just going to pop on and craft one card with you and see how we go. All right, so I'm just going to pop my catalog aside so I can keep an eye on how I'm going to make that card, and let's get started. So first of all, I've got a card base here of 5 3/4 inches by 8 inches, and I'm going to fold that in half, and that's actually going to give me a card front size of 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. So then my layer that I have with the Pretty Peacock, I've done that at 5.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So it's going to give me a little bit of a border in behind there. And I've also got a Whisper White piece here that's cut at 5 1/4 inches by 3.5 inches. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, first of all, this stamp set, and I haven't used this stamp set yet. I bought it because I absolutely loved it. I love the bold sentiments. So I decided that I would christen it before it goes. Sorry, I have used it once or twice. So I'm going to take out that gorgeous spray of color there, and we're going to do a combination of color on this Whisper White layer that we have here. All right, so I'm actually going to bring in just a scrap piece of paper so that I can protect my work surface so I don't end up with ink everywhere. So welcome everyone. I've got Merle, I've got Jen, I've got Janet, I've got Debbie, I've got Laurie, Joanne, Deanne, Margie, Maria, Wendy, Sharon. Thank you. Now feel free to share my video because that lets way more people know that I'm live, and you never know who out of your friends might enjoy a little bit of a crafting session. So I'm just going to keep this in the picture here a little bit so we can see what we're up to. So on this card here, you can see it's got this beautiful spray of a combination of inks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my Pineapple Punch first, and I'm just going to randomly stamp some of these around, and I'm going to change the direction that I'm doing them in, and I'm going to randomly stamp a few of them around. So there we've got Pineapple Punch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my mint macaron, and I'm going to do the same thing with the mint macaron. Hello, Rose. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Okay, bit of an impromptu live crafting session here. I just thought, you know what? I'm going to jump on. I'm going to do a bit of crafting. All right, so I'm then going to go in between some of these with the mint macaron and get a bit of color loaded up on there. So just like that. These background stamps are fantastic for doing this with. They are so much fun, and you can build up some awesome backgrounds, and no background is ever the same, which is fantastic. Just going to clean that ink off before I go in with my floaty flamingo. Okay. So then I'm just going to grab the floaty flamingo, and I'm going to go in and around with the floaty flamingo. So there we have a gorgeous background. Absolutely stunning, gorgeous background. All right, so now they've actually done some ink splotches on here. So I'm going to bring in my beautiful Pretty Peacock marker, and I'm just going to, with the Pretty Peacock, spritz some great color on that background. So you just whack it in your lid and just spritz it over that card. So can you see how that spritzing just makes a huge difference? Takes off that white stark look in your background. And you can see there, I was sort of freaking out when I did the floaty flamingo, thinking that it was pretty dark, but as it's drying, it's getting a lot lighter. So don't panic when it comes to your colors. The background, when the ink dries, it will dry lighter. Welcome everybody. Good morning. Hello Pam and Ruth and Mari and Robin. Thank you for joining. Valita, thank you. Anne, I've got some really new different names here this morning. This might be a good time to go live. All right. So I'm actually going to layer that up now on my Pretty Peacock layer. Now this is a different, I've added this because I'm a little bit of a, you'll get to know me, I don't like just one layer on my card base. I like to actually always back it with something, and it just gives that little bit more interest. And you can see that it just gives it a little bit more, and it makes that color pop. It makes all of that nice stamping that we've done really pop off the page. All right, so then we just need some scrap pieces of Whisper White, which I have some here, which are just offcuts of mine from doing my layers. And I'm just going to find a thicker bit so I've got a lot of room. So there's one. I want to find another one like that, which would be good. This one will do. Okay, so we've got some pieces of scrap paper. Now, the Label Me Bold happy birthdays and things are, how can I say it? They're a solid stamp. So because they're a solid stamp, you actually need to make sure that you ink them up really, really well. Just hang on and I'll grab a block. Okay, there's one block. So I'm going to mount up the congratulations on one block. And I'm going to mount up the other, which is well done. So I'm going to mount that one up. And as you can see, I haven't used this one, so, but that's okay. All right, and I'm going to show you a trick with these sentiments as well. You may be saying, look at how they've cut them out and how neat it is, but I'm going to show you an awesome trick using one of my favorite punches, the classic label punch. So I'm going to show you how you can get them cut out really, really easily. Okay, sorry, I've missed a question. I've used the background stamp in 4 colors. I've used 3 colors. I've used our mint macaron, flirty flamingo, and pineapple punch, and I've spritzed it with my marker in Pretty Peacock. Okay, so now I'm going to ink up these stamps, and I'm going to make sure that I've got them inked up really, really well, so you can see that there's a fair bit of ink on there. And I'm just going to stamp that down on that scrap piece of paper, and you've got congratulations. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the well done. Now I may have to do well done twice because I haven't used this stamp yet. Sometimes when you haven't used the stamp, oh, it's not too bad. I might do another one and just see how we go. And we'll pick the best one. Okay, definitely the first one. So sometimes when your ink pad is really, really inky, can you see that? You can't see the well done because it's quite inky. So just be careful with that if you've got a very brand new ink pad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this gorgeous banner punch, and you can see I can line that up. Sorry, the classic label punch. I can line that up in there. I can punch that out, and all I've got to do is trim off the ends, and I've got my label cut out beautifully. So no more trying to cut straight along the edges and trying to get it really straight. Use the classic label punch. It is a staple in my craft room, total staple in my craft room. I use it all the time. You love my nail color. Michelle, I actually did my nails myself. So I know that we're all struggling with this social isolation, and I did my nails myself. So I'm super, super proud that I actually got out and did my own nails. So, okay, so I'm just going to cut that off, and I've got the congratulations there. Going to do the same thing with the well done. And can you see how that has made cutting that sentiment layer out so much easier by just using that classic label punch? Okay, so in the catalog here, they've got this cute little piece of designer series paper in behind. Now I'm going to bring in my trimmer. For some reason, I've lost my baby trimmer somewhere. I've packed it away and I can't remember where I've packed it away. Oh, here it is. There it is. I want to bring the baby trimmer in because I love my baby trimmer. Okay, so it looks like it's probably about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut 1/2 inch, and I'm going to see what 1/2 inch looks like. And if it's, no, I'm going to do 3/4 inch, I think. It looks like it could be 3/4 inch. So I'm just going to cut a strip of that designer series paper, 3/4 inch. Now I'm going to lay that on my card because I want to work out. You can see here that it comes out both sides. I'm going to lay that on my card and just see where I put my sentiments, how long I need that piece to be. So I'm going to pop that up there. I'm going to pop that down there like that. Okay, so I'm thinking I need it to be about, I don't know, a little bit longer, about that length there. So I'm just going to pop that into my baby trimmer again so that I get it nice and straight. So the baby trimmer is awesome. You can line it up with one of these straight lines and just bang, done. So super easy to be able to cut it to the length that you want and to be able to get it nice and square exactly how you want it. Now, I'm thinking I can see the twine here behind. I could either use our Whisper White Baker's twine, which I think that's what I'm going to use, and it's just like a little circle of twine. So I'm going to do double-sided tape on the back of this here. And I'm going to stick my twine into my double-sided tape. So feel free, people, to share my video on your Facebook page. Let people know that I'm here and I'm crafting. It's a quick crafting session, but I just wanted to jump on and entertain you all a little bit so that we can all stay a little bit sane in the craziness that's going on in the world. I must admit, I think Australia's doing pretty well with the virus. It seems like we're getting on top of it, and it's looking like numbers are dropping, which is great. So you can see that I've just done a circle of that, and I'm just going to pop that into that double-sided tape on the back. And then for extra safe measures, I'm just going to pop another piece of double-sided tape over that to make sure that it stays where I want it to be. So it's just a loop of twine. And you can see that's going to create a super cute look on the front of our card. Although I'm looking at that thinking it could have been a little bit smaller, but that's okay. I think once we put our other sentiments on, it's going to look pretty good. All right, so I'm going to pop that up with dimensionals. And I'm just going to pop the dimensionals either side of that twine so that we get, and I just need a skinny bit for that end there, so that we get an even popped up amount. I don't want to put it on top of the twine, because if I put it on top of the baker's twine, you'll find that it'll be too bulky. Yeah, Rose is saying that she did her fingernails too before her live yesterday. We're all struggling. We're all trying to get those things done. And my nails was one thing that I was like, how am I going to cope? But I did. So that's totally okay. It's all good. Okay. Taking the backing off those dimensionals. And then we're just going to pop that down on our card like that. Okay. So then I'm going to pop this one up as well. So I want, I'm going to do mini dimensionals on this because I want to keep them towards the top of the sentiment so that I can pop it. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to pop them down here on directly on my card. I'm cheating here a little bit so that I can pop my sentiment on there. And I know it's going to be able to sit straight into those dimensionals. So you can do that. You can cheat by popping it straight directly on your card. And then see, I can pop my sentiment where I want it to be and stick it down. And I have no problems of where those dimensionals are going to sit, where that twine is. Okay, so we're going to do that. I think this one I'm going to just glue on there directly with my Tombow. It is quite pretty, isn't it, Kathy? Rose is saying we did good, Donna. Yes. It's amazing what we can do when we have to. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Now, we're going to need some sort of sequins, some sort of something on here to give this a bit of bling. So just bear with me and I'll find some embellishments, which are where are all of my sequins? Not there. Oh, down here. Okay. I'm going to use, I've got a box of sequins here. So Lord knows what we can find in here that's going to suit this. Okay. And don't ask me what sequins these are and what they belong to, but you know what? It is what it is. I might actually use some of these iridescent ones. Look quite cute. We might do that. Okay, so I'm just going to pop some of those around. Does anyone else have a sequin box like that you've got heaps and heaps of sequins everywhere? Okay, so I'm going to pop one up there. I'm going to pop another one up in there. Another one, I don't know, about here. I'm going to go sequin crazy with this because it's a pretty exciting card. I think that looks pretty cute. All right. So then I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals on the front because you know me, has to have dimension, can't have a card without the dimensions. Okay. So how is everyone going? Are you all surviving in the isolation? Do you feel like your crafting is getting you through these times not seeing anybody? It's really funny, isn't it? You feel like you go out for a drive to go to, say, the supermarket or the post office, and it feels like it's such a great outing. I actually had to go and pick my husband up from the mechanics yesterday. He was dropping his ute at the mechanics, and I was like, oh, I'm out for a drive. And I think it's the first time I've been out in maybe a week. So it was actually quite fun to be out and driving around. All right, so now I want to actually do an insert for this card because I want to bring a little bit of the front to the inside. My nails look wonderful from one cosmetologist to another. Well, thank you, Laurie. I don't think, well, I have to tell you the truth. I actually did do gel nails. I'm a hairdresser by trade. And I did do gel nails recently. Not recently. Years ago, I actually did gel nails in my salon. It was a fly-by-night thing, honestly. I did it, I think I did about 4 sets of nails, and I did my mother's nails continuously each month, and I was like, I so don't want to do this job. It was such a lot of work. It was, and I'm not saying that it was hard work, it was just a lot of work, but it was back in the days before you had the electric drills and you name it to be able to file the nails back. So it was like by hand with a nail file, filing everything back. And I was like, I can't cope with this. So it was a thing that I did, and it didn't last very long. But it actually brought back memories when I started doing my nails. So I did my daughter's nails, I did my nails. My eldest daughter did her own. So she decided that she didn't want me to do her nails. But then when she seen how the nails turned out, she decided that it might be a good idea that the next time that I actually do hers for her as well. So that must mean that I passed with flying colors, that I must have done them okay. You remember those days, Laurie? I know. It was hard work, wasn't it? It was hard yakka. Like, honestly, you would sit there for like an hour and a half just doing the filing, and the last 20 minutes or so was painting and doing all the pretties. But honestly, the hour and a half beforehand was like pretty major. So I was ever so thankful for the electric drill option Sunday, sorry. I didn't do them yesterday, I did them Sunday. So they're 2 days old. If you don't look too close, they look all right. If you look pretty close, you may be able to tell that I did them. But that's okay. You know what? They're getting me through. My issue was I just didn't want my nails breaking. That was my only issue. So I'm just going to, with that, just touch that around because I just want a little bit of that color in there. And then I'm also going to bring in my Pretty Peacock Stampin' Right marker and spritz as well, because we want it to look like the front. Okay. So, and I probably, have I got an envelope there? Yes, I have an envelope. So I'm going to spritz an envelope as well. We may as well make the envelope to match. Okay. So we'll pop that into the insert of my card. So just with some liquid Tombow, pop that in. And I've left it blank inside because depending on what I'm sending this to, like why I'm sending a congratulations to somebody, I want to have enough room that I can write a little blurb about what I'm congratulating them about. So it will probably go to one of my team members for maybe promoting or doing something. So now I want to bring that same thing to my envelopes. I'm just going to bring in my scrap piece of paper again. And I'm going to start with my lightest ink. So I'm going to start with my Pineapple Punch. And then I'm going to go to my mint macaron. Okay, so Pam's saying what stamp set did that come from? It came from Label Me Bold. It's in our mini catalogue, but it's on our retirement list. So my suggestion would be to race out and order it today if you think that it's a great stamp set, because it will be going. Sadly, it will be going. And I'm not half smart. I should have been doing some of this on the back as well. But anyway, we'll go on the back now. So it's so easy to make our envelopes coordinate with our cards. And I think it's super, super cute that our recipient will be able to look at this card when it arrives in the post. Now, can you imagine this card being addressed to somebody looking like that, and they turn it over? They're going to say, this is a super, super cute handmade card. So that is about it today. Now, any of these items can be purchased through my online store. So anything that I've used, the inks, the stamp set, the cardstock. So that's in the comparison, this card to my card. So I did a little bit of a change up on it, but it's just simply casing the catalog. So I'm going to try and jump on every day and case something out of the catalog for you, something that's retiring that you may have missed in our catalog. So thank you very much for watching today. And as I said, if you're watching this back later on, please feel free to comment. I love listening, talking to people. I love answering questions you may have about your crafting. And until next time, everybody have a lovely day, and bye for now.
Look around and you can see it's so much more than stamps and ink. It's more than just a card you see. It's part of you, a part of me. It's creative.